السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. آمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, we are going to continue the chapter Qiyamah, 25th, 75th of the section of the Quran. Now we studied up to verse 30, no, up to verse 31. Yeah. Excuse me. Now, we have been going through a process of psychological preparation for the last verse of this section of the Quran. The last verse, everything will be there. So we will study there when it, inshallah, when we get there. Now, at this stage, the verse says, فَلَا صَدَّقَ وَلَا صَلَّى. Now, the human beings just put forward their excuses for their mistakes, shortcomings, whatever. And then, but they know what is going on, in fact, because they have been given the tool to acknowledge their own reality, in fact, but they may choose to accept it or not accept it, reject it, cover it up. And everything is recorded, preserved. There is no need to repeat the excuses again and again. We are going to collect all of them, and one day you will face all of them together. So it is, everything is recorded. So what, in fact, was the reason to take this attitude for the person, or for you and me, that we are always looking for an excuse to justify our actions, our choices? Because the Quran says, فَلَا صَدَّقَ وَلَا صَلَّى. Because this person, the reason is, he didn't accept the truth. He didn't confirm the truth. And then he says, and then the verse continues, nor did he pray. He didn't pray either. Now, we know, we will come to the point, the relationship between confirming the truth and praying. We will come there, but first, didn't confirm the truth, didn't accept the truth. Why can we do that? Why do we do that? We don't accept the truth, although deep down we know what the truth is. Why do why do we take this attitude of denying our reality? Can anyone would make any suggestion about it? Why do we, although our inner selves, if you like, our feelings, our qualities, consciousness, reasoning, as the Quran says, we realizes it. Do we really realizes it? Do we really realize it? To my own life experience or living experience, really, I realize it, although the details I may miss, but the main attitude I take, maybe not on the spot, but when I really concentrate on it later on, think about it, if I'm serious about my reality, about my choices, that what am I doing? Is it right or wrong? I say, I think that was wrong, but throw away some excuses. But this person also said to me this because of the life conditions, because of the time, society around me, everybody, etc., etc. Nowadays, all these excuses are out there, but I know that I'm covering up the reality. That is my experience. Why do we deny the truth? Of course, one may ask the question, what is the truth that we deny, we don't accept? And the truth is, first of all, our reality. And as a continuation of realizing our reality, that I put it in a very simple language, we are created. We cannot exist by ourselves. I think even if we make excuses, billions years ago, there was a revolution, or there was an earth, something big explosion of something, and then the life started appearing on earth. I mean, this is worse than a tale. But yeah, billions years ago. Is there any sign in your real life now that you are absolutely convinced? For example, for some excuses, there are people say that millions of species exist. And nowadays, existing species of living beings, creatures, plants, and animals, again, over almost a million, depending on which biologists speak about it. I don't know whether I am ashamed of mentioning this clearly. 99%, 9,099 of, especially the animals, live in such a way that this is human nature. Humanity accepts it. It first observes it, accepts it, and confirms it that this is the general trend. But there may be one example. And the people say, there is an animal which is rare, whatever, and they were acting in a contrary way. Now, it justifies my attitude. Someone may be aware of this attitude among us, but I don't want to mention it. And it is now it became a political and controversial subject. I hate politics, so I don't like dealing with political matters, especially the practical politics. I'm saying, not the really political sciences. That is different, but the politicians and these certain attitudes of the people trying to justify themselves for any reason, bring one animal doing something contrary to the general trend among all living beings, and says, look, there is one example. Yeah. Oh, okay. I am right to do this or to say this. Okay. How about the rest of 99.99% of animals? What are they doing? Is there any unanimity among them? Why don't you take these examples, this greatest number examples, and take only one? Isn't that obvious justification? Yeah. So truth we acknowledge, but why do we confirm it, although we may not practice it? Why do we do that? Can anybody share his idea, please? Now, any suggestion? Really, I wonder what is the real reason to do that. I have some sort of explanations, but it is for my explanation. I will share it with you after anyone would like to share his or her idea about it. I'm waiting. Please go ahead. No.
Maybe we're not fully convinced, Doctor. If we're fully convinced, then we will take action. If we're not fully convinced, it's just a vague notion, then we will not take action.
Did I understand you rightly? We are not convinced. That's why we do that. Did you say that?
Yes.
If we are not convinced, we will be, to a certain extent, right to do that. It wouldn't be described as not accepting the truth, because I'm not convinced. But I think our consciousness makes it clear that we are wrong. That is why, if you are not convinced about something, for example, let's say, are you not convinced? I'm not accusing somebody, and also, especially, I'm not really pinpointing you. Are we not convinced that we are created? We need to be created. We need to be given consciously, given this kind of existence, so complicated, unique, etc., with qualities. There is no source for them within the universe. How can I say that I happen to be by myself like this? How can you say that your feelings are shaped by the influence of the outside world, your family life? Billions of people do that. Share the same feeling. They are all, they have completely independent cultural background from each other. And they all share the same feelings, same qualities. What? Feelings I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the physical body. You can, but feelings. How can one not be convinced about it? That's why I question it. Are those people who don't accept the truth may not really be convinced about the truth? I'm not talking about truth of Islam, truth of the teachings of the Quran. No, not specification. Just saying, are we not convinced that we are created? Are we not convinced that all these feelings are given to us by something? I may not describe it as God or something, by something which is not of the universe. Something I don't imagine. I cannot imagine. But something really, apart from the any part of this universe. That's an argument. Thank you very much. But I personally feel that this doesn't really represent my reality, not because I am a believer and I have taken a certain attitude because I prefer this. Really thinking about it, it's not human. I mean, I cannot say that even a simple spoon, if someone says, out of the billions of, there's a spoon in front of it, that's why I gave the example of the spoon. Billions of developments, this spoon has got this shape, and exactly it is just appropriate to hold my hand and fulfill the function. It's a human being. I wouldn't believe in it. Even billions of, let alone millions of species in the world developed, not only spoon, animal beings developed with different qualities, completely different physical and emotional, you call it, or sensually different qualities perfectly fitting their way of life. Million of them. How can a normal human being not be aware of it? I cannot imagine either I am an old-fashioned man or something, but any other reason, anyway, this is an option. They may not be convinced.
There are
Another
some
reason, yeah.
comments on the chat. There are a few comments.
Thank you for reminding me. Okay, let me check and read it out. Sorry. Somebody is called 8 Beja. Can you not speak? I think you know English better than I do, much, but I cannot compare it.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I was thinking about your question about why I might prefer something that is contrary to my reality. And one of the things that came to me was that I find within myself a weakness for sometimes preferring a seemingly immediate pleasure or satisfaction of something, even though long-term or in essence, it's not good for me. But I do have a weakness for preferring such a thing, unfortunately.
Oh, you may not be a good person. I do that, as you said, immediate, but seemingly satisfactory pleasure, satisfaction or pleasure. Yeah, I think there is a very strong element in me which confirms what you said. Yeah. For example, can you imagine if you are involved in an argument? You want to win the argument, debate. You want to win the debate. That is the choice. And maybe this choice is practiced by everyone to me. But there is another thing. That is one thing. Definitely, it is a factor. How about Rania? Would you like to speak out? If you don't, I can read it. To a desire to fit into dominant society. Excellent. Or both, or three of them, with an option. But really, this is. I agree with you. I personally agree. If someone doesn't agree, just say to fit into the dominant society. Yeah, I do that. In my personal life, I follow. That is, I agree with you. I'm not putting myself as a it is a criterion. No, but since I'm speaking here, I say I will also I can only speak on my own behalf. Of course, I say no, I agree with you. I don't agree with you, but I agree with you. I myself, I'm not saying I see some people doing that. No, 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 no. This is my life experience. I myself, the live mostly, even not completely, but to a certain extent, to a certain extent, maybe more than half of my life, I live in my private house. Private means private life in the house. Wherever I live, doesn't matter, in a room or in an apartment or in a house. So in my private home, differently from I live in society. It doesn't mean that I'm referring to, of course, when you go out, you have to take notice of others, and not in this sense. My language, my behavior, my appearance in the society is different from my private life at home. That is, now, there is a justification for it to a certain extent, but also when I fit into the dominant, the values of the dominant society, my one side of me feels comfortable that I am not excluded. Now, but the other side may not justify it, but I have, of course, two options always, like everyone else, I guess. One side says, oh, it is more comfortable, to get along with the society, with the people, so don't stick out in the society as a weird person. Okay. But at the same time, doing something which doesn't really fit my understanding. That's correct too. Zeba Rizvi, would you like to? Or would you like to? If it is, go ahead. If not, I can read it. But I prefer, of course, to express yourself. Okay, I will read it. If you want to speak, go ahead, anytime. We don't reflect. We are programmed by society to keep ourselves busy and just to do it, I think, about just do think about the reality.
I think probably don't think, yeah.
I see. We don't think about the reality. Thank you very much. We don't think about the reality. Yeah, let us think about it. Look, we are programmed by the society. I don't think, okay, I respect you. First of all, I'm not here to criticize people. I'm encouraging you to say anything you like, but also after you express yourself, anybody else, including myself, may put forward what I thought about it. So what I say, we are programmed by the society, or we are led the society to program me. I think there is a difference here, because if we are programmed by society, we are innocent. We would be innocent. Why? I don't know what I am doing, because my factory settings are like this, but the settings are programmed by the society. But my factory settings are programmed, I believe, by my creator. But I can let the society to program myself. What do you think? And then start not thinking about the reality. I agree with this completely. After letting the society to program me, then of course I wouldn't think about the reality. But if you have anything to say, please go ahead. Anybody, including Zeba. Colin says, Colin also, I think you can speak English and express yourself, Colin. Would you like to please go ahead? I cannot speak either because others are sleeping. Okay. Or being respectful to the others is also human reality. Good. Okay, I will read it. Admitting the truth would immediately be a threat to my personal sovereignty. Come on, man, you are hitting the heart of the matter. Thank you. My personal sovereignty and sense of self-ownership, declaration of my own independent existence. I add this as well. It is really, I think, I feel that it is the heart of the matter. I want to be independent of anything. I want to be in the center of my own life and my own world. One side of me wants this, and I have the option to follow it or not. We have to be careful. It's a very serious matter. We don't want to dominate, to be dominated, or we don't want anybody to dominate us. But in order to take this attitude, there is a fine point here. It doesn't necessitate that I should deny God. I think this is a very sensitive point. It doesn't necessitate that I should deny God. I can deny God. Sorry, I may accept God, but still, I want to keep my own existence, my own life under my own control. Why? Because I love, one side of me loves to declare my independence, not necessarily independence, my independence of my existence, but independence of my choices, decision-making side of me. That is why it is extremely difficult for many of us, including myself, although I believe in God, but I find it difficult to follow a person who is appointed by my God as my teacher and as my how do they call mentor, as my mentor. Consult him. How can I act according to the reality that I confirm I am created by a conscious being? You are the appointed person. That's why it's extremely important to follow the prophets. All the Quranic descriptions are concentrated on this point while the Quran describes the attitude of the hypocrites. They don't mind believing in God. In the Quran also description, which is needs to be taken into consideration seriously, the Satan, which Quran keeps reminding us, keep away from it, keep refuge with me from the whisperings of Satan or stonings of Satan. Satan stones. Rajim means stoning as well, the one who stones. The one who stoned and the one who stoned. That is the Arabic grammar says rajim means two. As an active, as a passive as well. It has double meaning. This form of the word has double meaning. Be careful while you are reading the Quran. Rajim, for example. Hamid, for example. So Jamil, for example, makes it beautiful, makes something beautiful, and also he himself is beautiful and needs to be acknowledged as a beautiful one. For example, so Rajim means one of them. So that's just.
Can you explain regime again, please? The two sides.
Anyways.
Brother Ali, can you explain the regime again? We lost your connection a little bit. The two sides of regime.
Now, this form of Arabic form, which is active form, seems to be active form, but has two meanings. Active meaning and passive meaning at the same time. Rajim means the one who is stoned, at the same time the one who is stoning. Like Hamid, for example, the one who is praised, also the one who praises those people who praise him. For example, the other example I gave, what was it?
Jamil, you
Ah,
said
Jamil.
it. Yeah.
Thank you, Jamil. For example, the one who makes all his creatures beautiful, or also who he is himself a beautiful one. Like this. Not always may be the case, but usually in Arabic grammar, it has this meaning. Anyways, so Satan whispers. Did he say he is the enemy of, and because of jealousy, he is the enemy of human beings? That's why the Quran presents it to us and asks us to be very careful and seek refuge with God. It must remember God and identify yourself with God, and then take this option. It is suggested to you by Satan. I mean, whatever Satan, I'm not talking about it, but this suggestion comes to me. That's it. That's what Quran describes the source of this suggestion as Satan. So Satan doesn't find any difficulty in accepting God. In the description of the Quran, he says, I'm afraid of God. He's my creator. No problem. But serving human beings, for example, trees, all the plants serve human beings. Animals serve human beings. Planets, celestial beings serve human beings. Why? We look at them, we enjoy them, and we see the beauty and the meaning in their existence, so that we can grasp, we can understand who the source of existence of these beings and how he is powerful, knowledgeable, generous, etc., beautiful, etc., merciful, wise, etc., etc. They are all serving us as far as we are concerned. I benefit from them. But the Satan said, no, I'm not going to serve a creature, human being. Although this creature has spirit from God, he was jealous of this side of human beings. That's why he speaks always when he says, I'm not going to prostrate, it means serve in this sense, serve human beings, because he's made up of mud, clay. But angels decided, all the angelic side of the universe declared that, yes, we are ready to serve it, because this clay has in it what? Spirit, from God's spirit. It means he has the qualities to acknowledge the God. We have to serve so that human beings will be able to acknowledge and confirm their creator and their relationship with the creator. So the creator is the one who is the owner, my owner, and I am the one who will declare that my will will follow the will of my owner. So I will follow God's will, Creator's will, my Creator's will. So this relationship is described in the language of the Quran, ubudiyya. So everything, the universe does this, but one side of the universe, service human being, one side of the universe doesn't. So that it gives us the opportunity, it's a very good opportunity to make the decision, to make choice between which one, what the universe witnesses or what jealousy witnesses to me, suggests to me, which one I should follow. That is my reality. We have to be careful about it. So personal sovereignty with sense of self-worship, self-ownership is the result, or is the reason why we really incline not to confirm, accept the truth. That's excellent. Hamim also said, Farah also has her hand up. After you finish reading the book, okay, Collins Zeba, one who stones and who is stoned. Yes. Hamim says, just do the Farah. Okay. All right. I understood. Farah wants to speak. Go ahead, Farah, please.
I think you covered the point that was mentioned. I was going to add that I think people act or follow certain sort of their decisions because they don't see that they are part of an order, that order is not of their own creation, but that they are they are a part of it, fitting into it, and meant to play a certain role, in an order that is not being defined by them or created by them. So that was the point from earlier.
Can I ask a further question? That is interesting. Thank you for your contribution. A further question to clarify something.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Why do you think that we don't want to be a part of it? Did you say a part of? Yeah.
The order. I think it's because it's the point that we often sort of remind ourselves in this class, that it is because we don't see that there is a conscious will, not of the nature of this universe, that could be operating it. Or in other words, we see that, or someone sees, or one sees that things seem to be acting on their own, and so you also have the right to act on your own, and that leads one to then operate based on their own will.
Are you suggesting that we don't see the conscious will behind the creator of the universe?
No, that we see that things in and of themselves, that there is no sort of, as the point was brought about, like that there's the will to act and to be and the power is attributed to things in and of themselves. So if I attribute all sorts of power and authority and ability to myself, then I will agree or do as I please. And if I don't see that in the world, or if I don't recognize that things are not actually, in fact, operating on their own, then it appears that you also seem to follow that same idea within yourself or for yourself.
I feel that we are suggesting as if we love acting independently with our own free will, as the creator of the universe is acting, it making a similarity between us, since the creator of the universe created me and the universe in this way freely, as according to his own choice. I may do the same thing. That is just really declaring my own very little petty Godhead. That is one side of me, really, if you meant this.
In a way, I mean, it also applies, I would say. But I guess you also reiterated the point that you perhaps don't, you don't see any point in, or one doesn't see any point in, or any meaning or reason in following or submitting to an external authority. It's a rebellion of sorts, or it is rebellion. It doesn't make sense why you would follow anybody else's will.
Doesn't make sense, or doesn't really desire to my one side of my feelings, so that because there are two sources of, if you like, whisperings, if you like. One of them is whispering false, describe it as it is described in the Quran. The other one is inspiring. I mean, just to make the difference between the qualities of this thing. One of them is really true, the other one is just the opposite of it, because this universe is created in this way, with its opposites, but harmoniously working. The center of the universe, I mean, I would call it spiritual center, not the physical center. The spiritual center of the universe, which universe is working out there for me. I am the center of the universe. I benefit from the universe. Do you see what I mean by this? Not the physical center of the universe. I mean, there is no limits of the ends of the universe, so we cannot say this is the center, that is the center. There is no center, as far as we cannot reach the ends of the universe. Physically speaking, is nonsense. It's saying that human beings are the center, or Earth is the center of the universe. Impossible to accept it, because we don't see the limits. So physically, I mean, spiritually, I would call it, everything serves me as far as I am concerned. That's it. I am the center of the universe as far as I feel and experience in this world. So I am the center of the universe, and I want to declare my own independence, because this one side of me says, you are created, you are employed in order to benefit from the universe, but while you are benefiting the universe, you have to acknowledge the creator and also submit your feelings, your will, to his will. That is very important, by following his exemplary teachers, that he employed. It is by following the prophetic sunnah, which is called prophetic tradition in general. I mean, at least say that I need to follow the example or exemplary teacher's life pattern, and that is my ideal life, because my creator says follow my will. And how can I follow creator's will? I don't know. Even if I want to follow creator's will, I don't know what is his will. So in my practical life, of course, in my practical living conditions, definitely I need an example out there. That's why I cannot imagine this world, the creator of this world would do something very nonsense, create the perfect universe, and don't tell me why, and don't show me how can I appropriate the behavior with this huge emotional side of me, feeling side of me, without giving me the practical example. So if there was no employed prophets, messengers as teachers, instructors, I would say the creator of this universe is not wise. Right? It is something nonsense. Perfect demonstration, and I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, there is a creator. So my life is just it. Do I follow my life according to my own self-centric interests? That is why I am here. It means I am really, as the Quran describes the example of the arrogant person, just an example which is represented with the name Pharaoh. That's the Pharaoh really presented himself in the description of the Quran as a god, as a Rab. It means, how do you say, Rab, sustainer, Lord, owner, and lots of things, educator, whatever, and also, what was the other one? He describes himself in the Quran in three ways. I am the Ilah, I am the Rab, I am the Malik. This mulk is mine. This property of Egypt is mine. I am feeding you, Rab, and I don't know anyone that you can obey and follow other than me. It means worship Ilah. You understand this figure, these three qualities? So we see that in our attitude, sometimes we think that we own our own being and feelings and the properties under our ownership. That is ours and belongs to us, as if we are the source of existence of these things. And also, I am declaring my Godhead in my own choices. And I am really the Lord of myself, Rab of myself. It means I can really choose whatever I want. I can train myself and make my decisions according to my own wishes. It means I am the teacher of myself. I am the educator of myself. I will educate myself by myself, and I don't want to submit my will to anybody else's will. That is one side of it. As the Quran says, whisperings of Satan. It doesn't, none of them really represents my reality. I am a created being. I have two options, and I need criterion to make the decision between two options. That's why I feel that, I don't know whether you would agree with me, although it is not our within our today's discussion, it is not in the center of our discussion, but it's a very essential question for me. If there was no example of my life, it means exemplary teachers, human teachers, employed by the creator of this universe, I would say this creator of the universe, the creator of this universe, is at least if I want to be respectful because he did a good job, his job, look at the universe and me as well. I wouldn't use any derogatory language, but I would say he is not wise enough, really. He is missing something because human beings need teachers. Can you learn anything without the instruction of a teacher? Yeah, do you think everybody has to invent the wheel again and again, again and again by himself? We have to learn through the accumulated knowledge of human beings through this secular education system. Everybody is dying. All the parents are almost killing themselves to educate their children in an education system. Why? Because they want perfection for their children. That is right. It's very human. So education, when it comes to educate my free will, how should I really control it, manipulate it? How should I really direct it? Which kind of criteria I should follow? I need an example, a center for education. That is what the mission of the prophets are all about. So without the prophet, there is no religion. Even if you believe in God, it's not a religion. If you say, I follow God by myself, even I follow the Quran, okay, but where is your example? That is, Quran is an, if you like, a constitution. How can you practice it without taking it and practicing it in the form of a law and also court system, practical? Constitution is by itself is the source of everything, but it cannot be practiced without the law system, without the court system, without, I don't know, judges and police and executors of this laws and legal system. It doesn't work. So Quran without the Prophet, to me, doesn't have much meaning, practical meaning. I mean, it gives the ideology, but my practical life needs a practical instructor. Anyways, that is the problem, that our will, there is one side of it. Our human feeling is very much inclined not to follow the exemplary life of the prophets, not to get into the teachings or instructorship of the messengers. That is the problem of mankind. That is why they say, I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion. That is what, for example, the society I am living in identify themselves as respectful to religion, believe in God, and everybody can do whatever they want, but the administrative system should be independent and dependent on the wishes of the human beings, not wishes of God, which is called secular system, secular education, secular administration, secular civilization. But this is what it means. Secular civilization doesn't mean that denies the existence of God. Not at all. All the founding fathers of the United States believed in God, believed in religion. They are all coming from Puritan tradition, Protestant tradition, Christians. But when it comes to practical life, they say we are secular. Why? Because of, they call themselves deists. They don't acknowledge religion. Religion means the institution established and practiced by the messengers. That is religion. Anyways, that is a very sensitive subject. I'm very sensitive about it. And also, it is much neglected, this side of the teachings of the Quran as well. That is a side information, if you like, sharing my emotional, how do you say, sensibility. Even I don't know how to pronounce the word, but I don't think you mind. You are used to my broken English, so I'm spoiling your language as well. Okay. Let's. I think this is a very important point. I wanted to discuss this matter today with you. Why we don't. Went back again. Yeah, we don't want to confirm the truth, so that all the following will come as a result of this attitude. That is the heart of the matter. Why we don't want to confirm? There is a side of it, and we have to, there is a side of us. We have to pay attention to it. Am I really confirming the truth? But it doesn't mean confirming that there must be a creator. It is included, yes, I must confirm the existence of the creator, and I must confirm that I am created, but at the same time, not every truth that my feelings really need to be trained in it or with it, with this truth. My will must have this truth as its criteria to follow, to decide. That is very human side of it. Now, if we really become aware of our weak point at this stage, that because this is the source of all diseases, actually, all problems that we human beings are facing in this world, according to my personal understanding. Now, I'm not imposing on you this understanding on you. Since I'm speaking, well, I'm begging you to speak. So it is very difficult to make you speak, but it is really much easier for me to make you speak, to make myself speak, because I'm used to speaking for years and years. Excuse me for my being sarcastic about myself. So I'm really a very spoiled person, as if I am the authority to speak. God forbid. God forbid. No. But I'm sharing my feelings. If you like, you can join. If you don't like, just say it. Clearly say, no, I don't agree with you. I don't feel offended at all. Just don't feel that you are breaking the heart of somebody. No, no, my heart is very much used to it. So don't worry about it. So, okay, let's go further now. Nor did he pray. Of course, if you don't accept your reality, why should you express yourself? What is prayer? Expressing yourself, your neediness, your reality to an authority, to submit this authority that over you, that you accepted that he is the authority over your free will. Look, not authority over your existence. That is not a great deal, although it is essential, but this is just initial, essential side of the matter, but just initial side of it, to accept the creator. It's essential though, all right, I confirm that it is essential, but this is just initial. I give the very simple example. If you want to enter a huge palace building, I don't like palaces, so huge building, building for whatever it is. So, but in order to get in touch with this building, first you have to open the door and put your first leg in it. Okay, you are in it. Without doing this first initial action, you cannot have any relationship with the building. Of course, inside of the building, I mean. That is what accepting that you are created and you have a creator. But As far as your relationship with the building is concerned, of course, the building represents what? Your emotional feeling side. As far as really going into your feeling side, it's a huge word, actually. Endless feelings. Each of them has endless capacity. You just listen to yourself. You are a very precious being. Every human being is a precious being. As far as his existence is concerned, everybody is really priceless in their values, in the values of their existence. So we have to respect human beings, whatever they are. So after putting your first leg in it, okay, the process started now. All right, it is possible for you to continue your journey within your own feelings now. Afterwards, it comes what? You have to accept that you have to submit your feelings to the will of their owner. Their owner. Who is it? The one who has the authority over you, so that you have to utilize your feelings according to his choice, which means my will must follow the will of my creator in every aspect of my life as far as I am aware of it. So try to be aware of more and more, but at the same time, if you are not aware of some senses, you don't really feel the need to follow. That is prayer. Not that sometimes we read in some commentators, to me, okay, that's an idea, and it is included, I'm not saying excluded, pray 5 times a day. Yes, it is included, but it makes only 1% of thousands. 1% of thousands. Yeah, we have to pray, well, okay, but the consciousness behind it requires the acceptance of the authority about my decision to use my feelings according to the will of their creator, which is described through his revelation as and exemplified, put into practice in the practice of the messenger he employed for me as an instructor, how to live my life, because messenger gives the instruction to me how to live my life. He is the coach of my life. That is why I have to search for it. I have to understand what how he really practiced it. At least, ideally, I must say, oh, I don't know what am I going to do here, but my coach, life coach, is the messenger. I must learn from him. It means the will of the creator is represented in practical terms in the exemplary life of the messengers. That is a very interesting stage of really coming and training my free will. We have to be careful about it. Prayer is accepting that you cannot use your feelings as you wish, as you will. You can use your feelings according to the will of the owner of your feelings. That is called prayer. That's why I say, please, God, guide me to the straight path, not to, what is the word? Not to disobey. No, there is another word.
Go astray.
No. Sorry, I mean, I don't mean that. Not to go against the will of the one who gave this feeling to me. the purpose in their existence within me, because these feelings are given to me not to contradict, maybe, not to contradict to the purpose of their existence. These feelings are given to me as what? As the tools to acknowledge my creator. So I must use them in order to acknowledge its creator. So I must use them in the name of its creator. So how am I going to do that? I mean, it is easy to say pray, fast. No, these are the words we keep hearing. But in practical terms, how can I really pray in my whole life? Oh, 5 times a day, yeah, I can go to the mosque and do it, or do it in my house, although it is a great deal nowadays. But I'm not saying you may not do it. No, that is definitely. But the consciousness behind it needs education. That's why I'm digging into this subject, scratching the surface and going to down. Why am I expected to pray, for example, 5 daily prescribed prayers? Why? Because I have to just concentrate myself once again. Yeah, training. About what? What is the purpose? About to become aware of or keep my consciousness that what am I supposed to do here? Oh, I have to remember that I am owned. I have to remember that I have to follow the will of my creator and use my tools given to me in order to get to know him. This is the way. How can I use my feelings in the name of their creator? That is the summary of Bismillah in the Quran, Quranic teaching. Bismillah. Every chapter, every section of the Quran starts with Bismillah. It means I'm going to teach you in this section how you are supposed to use your feelings in order to acknowledge the creator of your feelings and get to know which kind of creator he is. I mean, to say that he is a creator is all right, created the universe. But which kind of creator it is? Now look at the universe. He must have a power. He must be all powerful, all knowledgeable, etc. Okay. How about your feelings? How about your relationship with this all powerful one? How about your own power, seemingly that you own? Oh, these are the main subjects that not very widely studied and pointed out. Among the Muslims or other religions don't care at all. But at least Islam and the Quranic teaching, the core of the Quranic teachings are really centered around this subject. Worship God. Pray. Because if you accept the truth, you can pray. If you don't accept the truth, you never will be able to pray. It means you will never go or undergo the process of realizing who you are and how are you expected to practice your free will. That is, free will is the center of everything as far as I am concerned. Why? Because whatever I do it as a result of practicing my free will. That is extremely important. So prayer, presenting myself and practicing my feelings with an acknowledgement of their creator, so that the purpose of my feelings will be fulfilled. It means through my feelings, I will get to know who and what kind of creator he is, so that he is my master, he is my Lord, he is my owner, he is my trainer, He is my sustainer. I am coming from him, and I have to return all these feelings to him, submit my entire existence to him as a result of the practice of my free will. That is the heart of uh, core of everything in my life, prayer. This kind of prayer, but this kind of prayer is represented in my bodily form 5 times a day, prescribed prayers. This is just really, how do you say, drilling for me. So the place I live is, some of you know, uh, I live in a place just adjacent to a fire engine place station. So every here and now, they go out. You think that they are going to deal with a fire or dangerous situation? No, I know them, and they know as well. Their marshal keeps them busy every half an hour, at least every half an hour, to go out as if there is a serious fire. Every whatever the equipments they have, as if they are going to deal with a serious fire. They go to the marketplace and buy their lunch and come back. But Marshall doesn't tell them. This is just a drill. Keep them alive, keep them alive. Now, prayers, 5 daily prayers are our drill activities. The real purpose is to, I mean, in a nutshell, to say it in this way, real purpose is to educate myself, remind myself, to submit my free will to his field through the exemplary life of the messengers. Because my life, real life conditions can only be learned from the messengers, from the practical life of the messengers. How can I learn it? God says, for example, worship me, don't worship Satan. I said, but there's no Satan in my house. I don't see it. I see the furniture around me, my bed, my, I don't know, the things, the books. I see them. I see the radiance here. There is no Satan. So I am free from the assaults of Satan. So it is ridiculous. So we have to make it real. That is the real side of my life. Okay, let me go. If you have any comment, I will love to hear you. Otherwise, I will carry on. ولكن كذب وتولى. There is any comment? Yeah.
Yes, salam alaikum, Dr. Ali.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Why did you say it doesn't work when you don't follow laws and rules and regulations, as though you're collapsing the faith into its legal aspects? Why can't people figure it out themselves? وَأَمْرُكُمْ شُورَ بَيْنَكُمْ, based on the shura process, since everything is based on interpretation anyway.
Okay. Now, thank you. It is an excellent point. Shura bainakum, consultation between yourself. About what? How to put into practice the exemplary life of the Prophet. Can you make a shura consultation without having your constitution and example practice of the constitution? It means, according to human wills, every wish will conflict. There is no criterion. We have the criterion. Which kind of criterion? That's why I appreciate the question. It is an excellent, practical, a very common tendency. Now, that is true. I think you deliberately asked this because everybody talks about it nowadays. So I really thank you very much sincerely to bring, for bringing up this subject to our attention. Okay, there is a shura in secular administration. Yep, they ask people, they consult people, and they make legal decisions. It means really legislation according to the choices of the people. What is the difference between, I would say, God's religion and secular practice? Now, human feelings, as we have been discussing today, and I wanted to emphasize on this accepting the truth point today, that was my aim. And alhamdulillah, we are going through it. I don't know whether we will be able to finish it today, but it is an essential practical point for me. So that's why I am trying to share these ideas and this very uh, uh, important point. Let's put it with a simple language. The important point with you, and that's a good point that you brought up. Again, I thank you very much. So let's talk about it. According to my choice without any criteria, according to another person's choice without any criteria, without any criterion, I don't know how to deal. I don't know how to deal my limitless, unlimited feelings. And there must be a criterion. You know, can you say, you and I, can we say that I can learn how to become a computer engineer without going an instructor or instruction? How can I learn? How can I become any professional? Even if I want to become for example, I don't know, school bus driver, I have to take course. Come on, under an instructor. If I want to become a sanitary worker, they put me a training for a while and then give me the job and let me practice it. But the simplest thing, taking the trash away and throwing into the truck. But it is training. Human beings need training. That's what we are created in this form. Why God gave us the unlimited feelings, with an unlimited number of feelings. The more we are careful about our spiritual side, the more we become aware that this kind of fine feelings I have, fine things, very fine things. Hearing a very sweet voice for a while cheers me up. What? And feeling a very, for example, let's say, I mean, without condition, of course, without conditioning myself, you have a trap for mice, and a mouse is caught by the trap and started making noise. Don't you feel pity somehow for this animal? Although you don't like it, that's what you want to catch and throw it away. If you listen to your consciousness, yes, I don't want this creature, but I cannot really give an end to its life. If you are careful about it. So if you really think that this is created by the creator of the universe for a purpose, yes, I don't want it within my house, okay, but it must have his free will somewhere else without getting into my house. It may be dirty. Yes, it is dirty for me, but it is how do you say, the best orchard for him, for it. Because that is how they are created for. Like the vulture loves how is it called? And the dead body of the animals? Somebody help me.
Carrion?
Carrion, yeah. They love carrion. Thank you very much. For them, it is No, I have this background. Baklava. For you, something horrible. Even the human beings question why God created this horrible thing. That is why you hate it. That's why you hate it. He wants you to hate this, not the creator, so that you will be able to make the decision between baklava and the Korean. So you will choose baklava, not the Korean. We have free will. You have to make decisions, and you have to choose from among the two options. All right. Now, this kind of feelings needs to be used according to will of the creator, and it is up to the creator of your limitless feelings and limitless freedom to direct to use these feelings according to the direction that they are created for the purpose of their existence, in order to get to know the creator. For example, in our social life, in our family life, in our personal life, we have to use our feelings according to get to become aware of the creator of this feeling, so that you will understand that he is the one, the creator is the one, the source of existence of this feeling, so that he is the source. So he has this quality in the absolute form that is called knowledge of God. So love of God only possible after the knowledge of God. Knowledge of God is only possible after accepting his Godhead. So Godhead is the first stage, and then knowledge of God is the second stage. Become aware of his qualities, and then it becomes love of God. So you and I will be really excited to turn back to him and to be embraced by his, if you like, hand of mercy. Here my abd, here my abd, whatever, how you call it, here my, I don't like servant, a worshipper, it means acknowledges the truth. This is the man of truth, man. Welcome. You really accepted the reality. You didn't turn back to the reality. I really welcome you to my presence. That is called paradise. Can you imagine? The owner of the universe is welcoming you. And that sort of that is why Salamun Qawlan min Rabbir Rahim, for the people of paradise. It means those people really acknowledge their life and submitted their will to his will. So if everybody, without going through this stage, it means connecting their existence, or existence of their feelings, to the source of it, and not accepting his practical life exemplary uh, teacher, and then acting on their own decisions. That is what Satan in the description of the Quran represents for human being, that he said, although you created me, yeah, but I am better than the other one. Who doesn't say I am not better? Who doesn't say I am better better than others? Who doesn't say? Everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants to be alone, as long as they don't accept the truth. That is very reality. It means submit their reality. It confess their reality, submit their existence to the source of their existence. Otherwise, for example, I may say, I may steal a car and say that this car doesn't belong to me, but I'm going to use it as I want. That is a theft. Or a thief can do that. Why? This does, yeah, I have stolen it. It doesn't mind, but I can use it as I want. So you don't have to deny the fact that you are created in order to declare your self existence or uh, independence before your creator. So you say you're creator, you are the creator out there, wherever you are, but I'm going to lead my life. If the criterion is this, everybody, let's say in the States, there are okay, maybe 390 or 400 million people, I don't know, 380 I think, are out there. 380 million people would say, oh, that's my opinion. The other ones, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And these my opinions times 360 million makes the decision equals to what? My opinion. It's my choice. It's my decision. That is just ego speaking. So we have to say, this is the opinion of my creator, my owner. Here is the life example. I have to follow exemplary life of the prophet. I may not be able to get all information, but that must be my criterion. Otherwise, my acknowledgement of the creator may not be different from the acknowledgement of the creator by Satan. That is an interesting presentation in the Quran. Even the Satan says, according to the teachings of the Quran, I fear of my God. It means I cannot really deny him. This is my reality, but at the same time, I am competing with my peer. That's what is going on in the world. And belief in God does not prevent me from falling into this mistake. That is the difference between consultation among people according to secularism, consultation among people according to the criterion the people follow, described or presented by my creator. That is why I said in the beginning, that is the problem of this age. Believing in God, belief in God is not the problem of most people at all. Majority of the people, no, great majority of the people, no, belief in God is just necessary, but doesn't really require much submission to the will of the creator. Because the creator is creator, that's it. I give the simple example. I don't know, oh, time is up, come on. 1.5 hour is too long. I know it is too long, too boring. I know. But that's what I feel it. Although I don't feel bored because I'm continuously speaking. So I don't know. It must be very tiring for you listening over 1.5 hour. Anyway, so still one point to discuss one point, make it really clear and practically make it something practical for me so that I say, yeah, I got this point today. This period is not enough. Now, I give the example of this very simple example, and let's try to conclude today's discussion. You may be living in one house. Yep. Definitely, you are living somewhere. Yeah. And do you deny that this house has a builder? Somebody will you communicate with me, please? Somebody, come on.
No, you won't deny that. There must be a builder, yes.
Okay, stay there, please. Don't mute yourself. Yeah, please. Yeah. So I know that you are living in an apartment. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you deny that it has the creator, maker, builder?
No, I don't deny it.
Okay. While you are using the door, for example, going into a room and out, have you ever occurred to you that this is the will of the creator, the maker? I mean, you can use creator in these human actions, but maker of the building or that apartment? Do you remember? Have you ever remembered? Let me be very clear and simple. Have you ever remembered that this is the will of the store acting in this way is the will of the builder or let's put it simple, architecture of this apartment? Did it ever occur to you?
Not usually. Good analogy.
When it doesn't work, do you get angry with the architect? Said, oh, it didn't really design it perfectly. It didn't make it perfectly.
Yeah, that time, that's what happens.
Yeah, we remember God, the creator, although we acknowledge it when the things go wrong according to my expectations. That is my reality. Wake up. Yeah. When it works normally, you say, I bought this house or I am paying my rent. Right? And that is the right of use. Right of use is mine because I'm paying for it. Don't we say this? Don't we have this attitude usually? You go to the house and say, this is my house. If you own it, let's assume that you own it. This is my house. I can put the things as I want in the house here and there. Although you don't deny that this house is a builder. That is exactly what's happening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to communicate. That is exactly what is happening when I acknowledge that the universe is a creator. But I am using my garden as I want. I am using my body as I want. Why? Yeah, it is created. I'm not denying. So that is what the core of the problem here. Core of the problem here, not really believing in God or not believing in God. It's not the core of the problem. When it comes to the not believing in God, core of the problem is not accepting the truth. But even if you accept the truth of the existence of the creator, the core of the problem still remains there as much as regulating, managing with your life is concerned. Social life, political life, personal life, family life. This is what I want. That is how I choose. I am free to do that. This is my house. As long as I afford, I can buy this. Why not? I can use it or not. None of the business of anybody else. No one should interfere into my life. No one should advise me something as long as I am in very, very unsolvable problem. Otherwise, if I have a problem, I complain God. If I don't have a problem, the creator, although I believe in him, but if I don't have a problem, I say, as long as I can afford, as long as I can manage. So as long as I own it. This I is in the center of my life. But so the problem is, how can I make this I submit itself to the creator in order to get to know him? That is the purpose of existence of human beings. I would love to talk about this subject, and really, if anything doesn't make sense to you, please, please declare your objections clearly. Let's go a bit further. So, and then, ثم ذهب إلى أهله يتمطى. So then he went arrogant back to his field, his people. It means back to his. Any problem occurs, go back to his previous ideology and all the we are free people. Of course, the society shapes how it is going to rule or administer its experience. It is practice, so that the people will decide what to do, what not to do, and according to their own wishes. So the common wish, the majority of the wish of the people will prevail. But to a certain area, it is right. Now, common will, according to what? Oh, the time is up and too much. I don't know whether. I think we should leave it for the next Monday. We shouldn't hurry and really make it simple. These are important matters. I think we discussed. Need to be discussed, this kind of matters, because they are practical things. They are not to me information. You know that in this class we don't share information, just by sight. Maybe if it's essential, sometimes I touch upon them, but apart from that, my purpose is, that's why you are here, I believe, make this religion, belief, whatever it is called, spirituality, whatever the name you use, I don't care. They all boil down to the same matter. So I know the time is very late, but practical side of it, even one word, while we are discussing, we have to come to the practical side and make it really real ourselves and try to cover all the implications of it. There is no point to finish one section of the Quran in one session of our discussions. So we covered the Qiyamah in one day. Okay, what happened? Practically, what happened? Some information and practically nothing else. So that's why I choose this way, and I believe that you came here to this class for this purpose. Yes, the time is getting late. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد